Nice fish.
Nice fish.
Right off that rock.
Yep. Yep.
All right.
He smacked it too.
Yeah, yeah.
Come here, little fishy. Oh, there we go. Finally got a fish. Springtime, bass fishing, Lake Wallenpaupack. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one. Over. Lake Wallenpaupack, springtime, with my good friend Bill Albright. Bill, thanks for inviting us up again.
Sure, Bob.
Bill, springtime fishing's a little tough. We got a beautiful weather yesterday, beautiful weather tomorrow, but we have a cold front coming through here, and it's a little tough fishing. But we're running across the bank right now, and you and I had talked a little bit before about the new regulations that are going to come into effect in the year 2000. Just talk a little bit about that, because it's going to change fishing.
Yeah, what we're going to have is they're going to allow you to catch and release an immediate release of bass in the springtime, where before you weren't supposed to fish for them. But what you're not allowed to do is you're not allowed to go along the bank, and if you see a fish on the bed, you're not allowed to sit there and repeatedly cast to one area.
Target that fish.
Right. If you do that, they're going to arrest you for it. As long as you keep moving down the bank, keep fishing, you catch a fish, you leave it go immediately, they're not going to harass you. So that's going to be nice. I mean, it's at least it defines the law, so we know where we stand. You know?
Right, because I know a lot of guys were worried, like, can I just go down and fish a
They're
bank?
afraid to go out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now you can do that.
Right. And and that's going to be good for the tourist industry. All the businesses around here, they're early season, they're slow, and more guys will come out and fish, buy gasoline, restaurants, you know, and eat, stay at the motels. So it's going to give the economy a little boost too.
And it's still catch and release. It's immediate release.
Immediate release.
You can't keep any fish in live well or.
Right. You can't have any paper tournaments like they allow in Jersey, where they catch the fish, measure it, and then put it back and stuff like that. You got to catch it and immediately put it back. Take a picture if you like, but put it right in. No, you know, the least amount of handling you do of the fish, the better.
That's what they want.
At.
Just to...
Right. Right. And then when we have the tournaments, when they start in June, they don't want you putting any culling devices into the fish, like the pins in the live well or the balance beams where you stick it through the fish with the big clip and everything like that. What they've come out with, not the Fish Commission, but some companies have come out with a bag. They call it a weigh-in bag, and it's a smaller type version, and the fish will slide in it. It has a little clip on the top, and you would hook that on your scale or hook that on your balance beam.
No touching
Nothing
the fish
in the fish's
with
mouth, right?
Other than the hook that you actually caught it.
Right. So there's no more damage to the fish. So I think it's good. I mean, it's give and take a little bit, but at least we know where we stand, you know?
Yeah, I think that's, a lot of guys were concerned.
Right.
They didn't really know.
Right.
And it's going to come in next year. It's going to be the regulations. So.
Right, starting next year, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Got him?
Yep.
All right, good spinnerbait day. A little bit of wind in this cold front, the cloud cover, they're jumping on the spinnerbait.
These, look how hard that fish is fighting.
Oh yeah, they're strong.
Jeez.
These smallies are strong in here.
Oh, I'm telling you. I am absolutely telling you. Oh. Now, Bill, this size fish, I guess, is basically the average size fish that you're going to catch in a lake, a nice pound fish type thing like that?
Yeah, pound and a half is your average size, you know. 2.5 is a nice one, and then 3 up, you get some, but not a lot, you know. Yeah.
Springtime fishing. I just love it.
Right.
All right, now you're going to catch one of that spider.
I hope
right?
so. I hope so. They want that little bit of flash today.
Yeah. Bill, especially springtime fishing, you encounter a front like we have today, and it really makes fishing difficult for some people. But I think if you have a couple of tips or some suggestions that you could pass on, I think could help guys to, confront this stuff and what to do with it.
Right. Well, usually when you get a front, naturally you got the bright bluebird skies, wind picks up, the pressure's going up. The fish get a little lethargic, and they usually pull tight to the cover, whatever's available to them. Like today, we're catching them right off the rocks. They pulled in real tight to the rocks. And you have to be a little more precise with your cast, work it a little slower, and try to hold it in the strike zone a little longer, where normally they would just blast up and grab it.
Right.
But today, as you see with your spinnerbait, you're letting it fall, and they're taking it right off the rock just about.
Yeah, because I'm letting
Yeah,
it drop a
you're
long
letting it
time
drop,
before
right.
you get that bite.
Right.
And now you're throwing the spider jig.
Right. It's a lot slower bite. You can still catch fish, but you just have to work a little harder and pay more attention to the details.
I know, because everybody, you know, when they find out it's going to be a bluebird day, they know, oh, fishing's going to be terrible.
Right, right.
Well, it's just the fish have changed.
Yep.
And you have to change your
Right.
patterns to meet their living conditions now.
Right. Sometimes you have to use a little smaller bait and just work it a little slower than what you normally were fishing with.
And of course, you always have the wind to contend with.
That's another thing with the front, right? You're going to have that 20, 30 mile an hour wind blowing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we both had strikes that we missed only because we
Yeah.
had a bow in the line that we
Yep.
just couldn't
Yep.
keep up the.
They won't, you know, naturally they're not going to hold on to it as long as they normally would. They'll just peck at it or make an attempt to get it, and you got to be right on it. When you got that bow in the line, by the time you reel down to get to them, it's tough.
You're done.
You're done. They'll spit it out. But we're still managing to get some in the boat.
Yeah, that's for sure. And when they hit.
Yeah, the one when you get one, you got one, right?
Okay. They are hitting. Where are you little devil? Oh, it's a nice fish.
Yeah.
Come here, you little rascal. Oh, oh, oh. Come here, come here. They really hammered this one, Bill. We started out fishing with some Jersey rigs and spider jigs, and Bill mentioned, he says, you know what, could be a good time for a spinnerbait bite with a little bit of chop on the water, and I'm glad I listened to you, Bill.
Right, right.
I went to a Durstein spinnerbait that I have, and I'm just starting to pick these fish up. Bill, talk about what would be the difference between spinnerbait fishing now that there seems to be aggressive and the jig fishing and the Jersey rig, but that's not really happening.
Well, the wind, we've got the wind blowing. We got all this cloud cover, and we got a little front coming through, and the wind's blowing pretty good. And it's a little tough to fish the finesse baits because the wind's blowing your line, and you know it's hard to keep it in one spot. And the spinnerbait with that little bit of flash, you're getting them to come up for it off the rocks, you know.
So there's a good springtime tip. You got
right.
a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of wind.
Right.
Go to that spinnerbait,
right.
And because ordinarily I would definitely be using the jig or the Jersey rig for that finesse type stuff, but with this little cloud cover like we have now, got to go to that spinnerbait.
Right.
All right, I know I'm going to catch some more out of this.
Right.
Thing. I'm glad you got stuck back.
Yeah, I get stuck. You
otherwise
catch
I
the
would have
fish.
thrown
Right.
back in. We'll be back with more fishing from Lake Wallenpaupack.
Get a grip. Gadd's River Grip river anchors, as seen in the In-Fisherman's Walleye Insider magazine, have been nationally field tested for precise anchoring under all river conditions. This special design features 3 prongs that grip rocks and boulders, a metal plate to collect gravel, sand, and mud, and a slip handle that aids in retrieval. Gadd's River Grip comes in a 9-pound or 18-pound version. Stop by your local tackle dealer or call Twin Rivers Anchor Company. More details.
Fishin' Tales, located in Wrightstown, is the perfect store for fishermen and hunters. For the fishermen, we offer 13 types of live bait, fly fishing supplies, and gear for both fresh and saltwater anglers. For the hunter, Fishin' Tales offers hunting equipment and supplies. You can also purchase your fishing or hunting license. Personal service is important. If there's something you don't see in the store, we'll special order it from you from one of our numerous catalogs. For your convenience, our store is open early 7 days a week. So stop in anytime and trade your fishtails with us.
Hi, this is Bob Murray. Delaware Valley Outdoors is now on the internet. Our internet address is www.dvoutdoors.com. Visit Delaware Valley Outdoors for the latest in regional fishing reports, weather conditions, maps, pros tips, and product updates. Why not visit us on the web? Bill, I'm throwing a spinnerbait, but you're throwing something called a Jersey rig. What exactly is it, a Jersey rig?
It's it's a little short, like a 4-inch plastic worm, completely round. And what we do is hook it right in the middle. And
Kind of a silly thing to do.
yeah, it kind of acts like a larva or a bait fish coming through the water, but there's no sound to it. You know, it's a very finesse type bait. It doesn't spook the fish. It's a lot better on a calm day. It's the kind of bait I like to throw when you got that bright sun, dead slick day. I mean, you'll catch a ton of fish on these baits. Now today is just the opposite.
Yeah.
Today is not the best day for it, but I'm still, you know, using it because you're throwing a spinner bait. We don't want to both throw the same thing.
Right.
I'm getting a few fish to hit it, but not as well. What you want to do is with this bait is just throw it out. Try to throw it by some structure, a rock or a bush or a dock. Let it sink just a little bit, then just give it little twitches. Not as hard as you would do a jerk bait, but just little finesse type twitch, you know, just so it moves a little bit and then stops.
So just the two ends just kind of wiggle.
Yeah, they kind of shake a little. It just kind of shakes in the water.
And it falls
And
real slow.
Falls real slow. And you can actually you can almost see the bait all the way back to the boat, and it's really neat because you can see the fish come up, run around. You can tease them with it, shake it a little bit. I mean, it's a great type of bait to fish with.
And one of the things I know you mentioned when you're out with your clients, it's an easy bait for them to learn to fish.
Right.
They don't get hung up.
Yeah,
It's pretty much snag proof.
Right, it's almost snag proof. You're not going to get stuck on the bottom every cast. And then there again, they get to see the fish hit it a lot of times, and that's exciting to them,
Yeah.
you know. And it does catch big fish. I mean, you know, you wouldn't think so, but it really fools, especially if you see some fish cruising. You know, a lot of times you go to a lake and you see a fish swimming, and you got a spinnerbait or a crankbait or something. You throw it in and he runs. You know, you throw something like this about 10 or 15 foot in front of him, and he doesn't even know. You know, he doesn't take off. By the time he moseys up to it, and you got it right down in front of him, you twitch it a little bit. A lot of times you just grab it and swim away with it.
And it'll stay in that strike zone.
Stays in the strike zone,
Yeah.
right. It's really a neat bait. I mean, it was a great invention that Jeff Camerino had when he made these, and catch a lot of fish with it. And there's even been a lot of tournaments won on it too. I mean, surprisingly. I mean, a lot of people think it's only a small fish bait, but you can catch some big fish with it. You can catch them. I mean, I've caught some nice fish with it. We can catch the little ones, right? Come here, Ray.
The chartreuse is still working. Huh?
Yeah, they're hitting that. I mean, they probably should have went to that earlier instead of the gold, you know?
Yeah.
But you never know. But yeah, they're definitely on the chartreuse a little better. Just not, I mean, a couple bigger fish got off, but they're still hitting it.
Springtime now, water's up much higher than I've really have seen it before. What's the situation here? What are they doing?
Well, when the water's up high like this, the fish get up in the bushes, you know, up in the rocks by the shore, looking for the food that, you know, has washed in over the winter or whatever, taking advantage of the high water. You know, so.
But the lake will get lowered, or no? You
Yeah,
said
it'll
something
go
about
down.
when they start dropping it. What
Yeah,
happens?
it'll go down probably up to as much as 10 feet from now until the fall, you know. And as they keep dropping the water, of course, the fish will keep backing out farther until they'll get, when the water stabilizes, they'll get on an edge or a drop off, and that's where they'll stay. You know, they like rising water, but they don't like falling water, so they'll pull out and sit. Hey, come right off that rock.
Yep.
Nice fish.
That's a decent fish here, Billy.
Nice one. Yep.
Came right off that rock.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw the shadow come right up behind it. Yep.
Oh, come here, you little baby.
Nice one.
That's a nice fish. Nice springtime smallmouth. That's a nice looking fish, Bill.
Yep.
Pretty fish. Again, what we're doing, we're confronted with the wind situation today, and I'm throwing a spinnerbait, but I'm not working a spinnerbait like you would normally do.
Right.
What I'm doing is I'm just bringing it, and I'm letting it fall, and the fish aren't aggressive because of this front, but as I'm letting it fall, they're just picking it up. You can just see that shadow come right up, and he just hammered it. Ooh,
Yep.
you little pretty, you little baby. Bill, I know you fish on the lake all year long, but if you were to pick out, say, 2 months of the year that you would recommend people come up here for probably the top fishing, what 2 months would they be?
Mid-April to like the first week of May is a great jerkbait bite. You get a lot of big fish. They're suspended. You know, they want to move up to spawn, but of course they haven't spawned yet. The water might be 45, 50 degrees, and you get some nice quality fish on the jerkbait. And then July is nice. You get a real good topwater bite, which is easy, and you know, people like to see the topwater action. Once they're done spawning, they go out and they regroup a little bit, get on some of the structure that's off the shore, school up, and you get a real good topwater bite.
And when it's for smallies.
Smallies, yeah.
And there,
Yeah.
there probably isn't anything more fun
Right.
than a topwater bite with a smallmouth coming up and crushing
Right.
a chug bug or spook
or spook,
like that. But you also have good fishing in the fall, though. I mean,
Yeah,
you've
well,
often invited me up. We just never got our schedules hooked up to get into here in the fall.
Yeah,
but there's a terrific spinnerbait bite.
Yeah,
you
the
say
fall, October, when the water cools down and weeds start to die, great spinnerbait bite and a crankbait bite. So that's always fun too. Weather can be a little more unpleasant, but of course, as we usually get it,
usually we
won't be
find
much
out.
different than today in October, right? Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this is almost the end of May, and it's rather chilly.
Yeah.
I mean, water temperature isn't bad for fishing. I mean,
No, right.
We got 60-degree water, but
63 degrees, yep.
but the fronts that are coming through are just
Brutal.
I know you invited us up to do some spring fishing here, but tell us a little bit about your guide service that you're still running here.
Well, we fish April to November. Fish here, plus we fish a lot of the other lakes around the area. Packon, Greenwood, Candlewood. Basically any lake that we've been to, if somebody wants to go to it, we take them there, you know. We fish bass in the daytime, and then of course at this lake, in June we fish striper and walleyes at night.
That's
So,
pretty exciting.
A lot of guys like that. Yeah, they're into the striper fishing, you know. And that's pretty much a night bite, so you got to fish during the evening hours for them, you know.
So you'll travel to Greenwood if somebody's out there, or I know you like to go to New York a lot to
Cayuga we fish a lot.
fish there. That's a super lake.
Right, right.
And so you guide basically almost the full year then, right?
Yeah, April, November, then we do the shows in the wintertime, sport shows.
You had better weather though.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of wind this spring.
yeah, this spring has. I know we've done a couple of shows with Bill, and each time the weather has just turned bad for us. It's either windy or raining or something, but the fishing has been really good though.
Yeah, this has been a good spring, yep. Yeah, we've caught some nice fish.
So there's no indication as far as the fish catching that we got. I mean, we've caught some decent fish today.
Yep.
But again, I probably wouldn't be as successful as I was today if it weren't for somebody like Bill, who was on the lake every day, fishes it 4 or 5 days a week, and can put you on the spot. So if you come to Lake Wallenpaupack, or you're interested in fishing some of these other lakes that you might hear about, maybe you and your buddy want to get together and take 2 guys out, go out with them, contact Bill. He'll put you on the fish, or at least show you what's happening, guide you around the lake, let you understand it, because get on a big lake like this, it's rather intimidating. Everything looks good.
Right.
Where you can eliminate some of this water and really, increase your fishing success. So if you get a chance, give Bill a call, get out here and catch some great fish. You got stripers, walleyes, smallmouth, largemouth. You got a ton of fish, and I've caught some huge red eye. Almost tore me out of the water. It was unbelievable. Almost killed me. I thought I was going to die. What time of year do these docks turn on?
Midsummer.
Midsummer.
Yeah. Water gets down and the fish don't use the shoreline cover anymore, you know. Docks get real good.
And what, are there any like special docks?
Yeah, usually the ones that have the grass under them, you know.
Grass under it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They're the best
you can
ones.
probably into maybe even deeper water or something like
Yep.
that.
Well, they move. Sometimes you catch them on a deep end, sometimes you catch them on a shallow
Shallow
end.
end?
Yep. That's the funny part of it. I think a lot of it has to do with whether they're drawing water or not. Whether they come out or stay in there.
They have to not draw water, probably
Stay back up, right. When they draw water, they come out to the end. Catch the stuff coming by the dock.
The Tackle Box is sponsored by West Marine. We make boating more fun. Bill, we're at the Tackle Box section today, and we didn't really use that many lures today. We had our plan to do a lot of fishing because you had told me that the Jersey rig was really working up here, Of course, with the wind, it really has inhibited us a lot.
Right.
We still caught fish on it, but it really really held us back today with the wind. But let's just talk a little bit about the Jersey rig. Give me just a little bit of background about it, and tell us some of the colors and what we
Yeah,
have.
well, it's a great rig to fish in the spring, post-spawn, pre-spawn, and into June when the fish are up shallow, around the bushes, logs, docks. I
Clear water.
Clear water, to a great clear water bait. Works for largemouth and smallmouth. It's a great bait to throw when you see a fish cruising a lot of times. When it's calm and you're in shallow, a lot of times you'll see a fish swimming, a good-sized fish, and you don't know what to throw at them. Throw these out in front of them, and they're so quiet, and there's no noise to it, and it's just a subtle presentation.
It's a finesse
And that
rig.
fish will come up and pick it up. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of big fish have been caught on this. It's
And-
it's just a straight round 4-inch worm called the Jersey rig, and you can put on it front. And use a 1/0 straight shank hook. We prefer the Gamakatsu hook, which
So
works really good for it.
Just a straight
Shank works good.
hook, and
Yeah.
nothing special other
No.
than the
No.
1/0 hook.
1/0 hook.
And
The key is you want to make sure you get it in the middle,
Right.
like fold both halves together. I usually fold both halves together
And
and then pull it through
pull
and
it
then
through.
have it hang. That way it won't spin, it won't twist your line. Okay.
and then basically, that's about it, right?
That's it, yep. And you just throw it out and twitch it, very slow little twitches.
And then that was just that
And it
little
wiggles.
bit of a
Right,
thing. And
right.
the density of this plastic is such that it really falls,
Falls slow,
And
right.
well, you had mentioned, we talked about it, is that you can actually watch the fish come up
Yeah, grab it.
and just grab it. And that's it's like so exciting.
Right.
And it's weedless.
Yep.
That you don't get caught in the rocks or bushes or basically anything. It's fairly weedless. And it does catch big fish.
Mm-hmm.
It does get big. The wind hit us today, but
Right.
on a calm day, this
Calm
is.
day, on a calm, slick day when the sun is out, kind of day you figure you're not going to get a bite, that's when this thing really
That's the bait.
excels. I mean, it's great for calm water.
Two colors that you like for Lake Wallenpaupack?
The best colors I find here are the gold flake, which you have there, and the chartreuse, because smallies are always partial to chartreuse.
Chartreuse.
Works real good.
And the gold.
The gold flake is real good.
I know you have like a watermelon.
Yeah, well, if you got a real dark day, a lot of times, no sun out at all, a lot of times you don't want to flash. Sometimes the watermelon works real good.
And then
And then you got the silver flake. A lot of days you get on the silver. Kind of just looks like a bait fish.
Like a bait fish.
Right.
And silver
Right.
on that.
But they're the 4 colors that I throw the most.
Most. And on that, just on a 1/0 bait.
Just 1/0 hook, yeah.
Spinning rod.
Spinning rod, 8-pound test.
And that's it. Very simple.
Very simple.
And I know your clients like it because it's
Yeah.
an easy bait to use.
Right.
And
you don't get hung up a lot.
I'm
You don't
not-
get hung up on the bottom.
and
And like you said, you can see the fish grab it.
you grab it.
That's what's exciting about it.
The other bait that you, matter of fact, Bill had a very large fish on this morning. It was
Right.
a very nice fish, and that was on the spider jig.
Yep.
These have really turned. These got hot lately.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's
Right.
using the spider jig. Again, it's a 2-part thing. Cabin Creek Baits, I think,
Right, yep.
produces this bait. What size jig head do you really recommend?
1/8 ounce.
1/8 ounce,
Yeah.
basically.
1/8 ounce has a nice fall to it.
Just falls
If you
really-
go quarter, you're going to get stuck a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 1/8 ounce just perfect size for this little rig.
And basically, it's fairly simple. You just hook it through the collar here. There's a hole.
Yep.
You slide it up, and then you hook it like any other twister tail,
Right.
just down through, and then up. And then, I know these baits are really soft.
Yeah, they're
So
loaded.
the only thing is you go through.
You go through a lot of them. Yeah, they're loaded with salt and fish tearing them up.
Yeah, I know that. A lot of guys I know to save they super glue some of this together
Right.
just to keep it on because you do get a couple of hits and
Right.
you got to go through. I know Bill, we have the box here, but it's just loaded with parts. I mean, if you
Right.
come here with 3 baits, forget
No
it.
way, right,
You,
right.
you need a good supply. A color, Bill?
I like pumpkin pepper the best.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't found. I've had guys out and they've had other colors, and this color here does just as well as any other color.
Crawfish color.
Yeah, you don't need 20 different colors. You know, pumpkin pepper. If they're going to bite it, you're going to catch them.
And again, it's a slow drop and a spinning rod.
Spinning rod, 8-pound test.
So it's
yeah.
easy for somebody to use, and you can skip it under docks
Right,
and
right.
that kind of stuff. Okay, and I have to go with my spinnerbait, Bill. We were talking this morning before we got on the water, and I said, Bill, what do you think about a spinnerbait bite? And he said, well, I said, we've been really catching them on the Jersey rig and the spider jigs, and it was so cold this morning. I said, Bill, I have to put a spinnerbait on only because my hands were so cold. And then you did say, you know what, with this wind and the cloud cover,
Right.
we started catching fish. And what I have is a Durstein bait that we had brought out with the fat willow leaf, with the gold and silver, And we call this a river minnow color. I love it for smallmouth. I just absolutely love it for smallmouth. I use it on a Delaware a lot, and a largemouth too, but
Yeah.
especially for smallmouth. And the thing that you and I had talked about was when you pause this, because the fish were very sluggish today, and I basically caught a lot of the fish just on the drop when it paused, and I just let it flutter down. This fat willow leaf really seems to fall nicely
Right.
and spin versus willow leaf or something like that, and that really worked well. And it caught some. I mean, we were surprised, but I think that helped us today with
Oh,
the
definitely.
wind and that
And the
cloud
cloud
cover.
cover,
The fish kind of got aggressive,
Right.
and they went on to this. Bill, another thing that you had mentioned, that you came across a product, and I always like to talk to people about, tell them some of the new stuff. You're out on the water, you're always trying stuff. Tell me something about this product here you got.
This is a new scent that's out of Arizona called Kickin' Bass, and I started using it last year. I guess it came out about 2 years ago, and I was really impressed with it. It stays on the bait a long time. There's a real strong garlic smell to it.
You like the
And,
garlic?
I like the garlic, yeah. I think it doesn't turn the fish off. It helps mask the plastic scents of your baits, and I'm really impressed with how this works. I mean, it won me some money last year in several tournaments that I used it, and I'm sold on it. I really like it, yeah.
Check this out, Kickin' Bass.
Kickin' Bass.
I know we had talked about it, and we were spraying it on there, and
Right.
if there's a dull day, something's not going, this could be the ticket between
Right.
either catching some fish
Right.
or not. Well, that's a tackle box, and we got to catch some more fish. Huh?
Right, right.
Too pretty of a day. It might be windy, but we're going to catch some more fish.
Right.
Hey, and that's the tackle box.
There he is.
Oh! Oh, nice fish. Nice. Oh, it's a largemouth,
Yeah,
Billy.
imagine that, out of the bushes. See?
Out of the bushes. Out of the bushes. Look at this. Oh, come here, sweetheart.
All right.
Smallmouth, largemouth,
Largemouth.
spring fishing, Lake Wallenpaupack. Billy, thank you, my
Great
friend.
day.
Hey, I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you again on Delaware Valley Outdoors. Oh, look at that. Here, take that fish off for me. Hey, don't forget to see our website, www.dvoutdoors.com, for updates. Bill sends us reports. We got a message board. Drop me a line. I'd like to hear from you. Hey, I'll see you again. All right, Billy. Largemouth now.
Finally got him good, right.
Food and lodging were provided by the Silver Birches Lakeside Resort, Tafton, PA. Planning a vacation, weekend getaway, small business or group retreat, or just want a comfortable stay while visiting the area? Call Silver Birches. There's no place like it on the lake.